You're now listening to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. Straightforward, no nonsense business advice. Completely unfiltered. Grow your business. Grow your life. Now, here's your host, Brian Fullerton.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast. It is your host, Brian Fullerton here, hanging with you guys, and good morning. Well, today's, guys, I wanted to talk about getting the right customers and finding the right clients that are a good fit for your lawn and landscaping business. And more specifically, maybe just giving you guys some encouragement out there that this time of year, man, there's a lot of bid comparing out there. There's a lot of folks that are asking for multiple quotes and multiple bids, and sometimes you're winning them, sometimes you're not, sometimes you're getting compared against folks. Sometimes, whether fairly or unfairly, you're getting the work or not getting the work based on existential circumstances, things that you can control, things that you can't control. And long story short, we had a couple clients recently that, there was some frustrations, some pushback. There was a couple more emails back and forth about, hey, what's going on with this or price, or, I didn't renew somebody, or they didn't renew with me, but they were leaving me hanging and I didn't get any information back. And it's just real life stuff. It's just a real part of the business. All too often, I think, too many people present online, social media wise, YouTube, Instagram. Of course, everybody talks about the highlight reel, but more specifically, it's not even the highlight reel. They just always seem to have work. They always seem to have the hopper filled. They always seem to, well, let me rephrase that. Maybe, you're like, hey, do they ever have problems? Do they ever have customer service issues? Do they ever have people that tear you up on the phone, or, all these little nuances, right, of running a business and submitting quotes and bids and seeing how you compare it out there in the marketplace. And that's what I wanted to talk about for just a couple quick minutes here. I am going to keep the podcast episode here probably short and sweet, to be honest with you guys. Have a little bit of a sniffle. I'm pretty sure it's allergies like right now, because, man, my nose and my sinuses have been killing me the last day or two. I have energy. I'm feeling good. It's just right now, for the love of God, I sound like Darth Vader here with my nose. And I'm like, do I need to take some Claritins or some Allegras? I don't know. I think we finally had about 2 70-degree days. But before that, it was 2 50-degree days, like 48-degree high or double rain days back to back. And so I don't know if you guys get affected by the weather, but like 2 cold rain days followed by 2 beautiful 70-degree days, and the wind was blowing, so the pollen's moving around. And I told Liz, I said, I'm getting blasted right now. Like I cannot sound good. Like I don't know what my voice is doing. It sounds ridiculous. And I don't feel sick or anything like that. So I'm going to try to muscle through this the best I can, hopefully before I cough and have a cough attack. But that being said, I want to talk about a couple customers this week that, I don't have any super takeaways from them. Maybe we'll make a couple observations as we go. But I wanted to talk about a couple customers that kind of frustrated me this week. And if I really had to, try to put a little cap on this podcast or a title, I'm thinking something like, finding the right customers for your business. Just because you get a customer, just because you get an account, just because it pays well, or maybe it's profitable, doesn't always mean that's exactly what you're looking for, in your company. So you find a customer that, hey, it's profitable, but they're rude, they're demeaning, they're demanding. They think they're getting white glove service while they're paying, just an average price and not paying a premium price, right? Like they don't really deserve that extra, but they treat you like they do, right? I'm sure none of you guys have ever had customers like that before. Am I right? There's other times where, they want XYZ services, but they're only paying for X and Y, and I'm sure none of you guys have ever dealt with that. Hey, like, why aren't the weeds sprayed down, or why isn't this trimmed back or pushed back? And it's like, well, homie, I gave you a bid for that and a line item for that. You opted out, and now it's mid-season. You want it done. I'm booked out for 6 weeks, and, we can get it done. It's just going to be a little while out. The schedule is the schedule, and you're not getting bumped to the top of it. I don't care who you are or what you do or anything like that. And, again, these are just some of the little micro frustrations that I'm dealing with our business real time. Nothing bad, nothing evil, nothing wrong. It's just, we're out there mowing and the weather's been nice and, the mood is feeling better. In Michigan, we're finally getting some sunny days. But it doesn't mean that we still don't deal with drama, frustrations, crap. Does that make sense? So I wanted to talk about a couple customers that are on the top of my mind specifically, and how we navigated a couple of these little customer service challenges. And that's all they are. They're just challenges. There's just an opportunity for improvement. They're an opportunity to get better. And, there's nothing bad with any of them. But I thought there might be some relatable stories maybe with some of you guys that are going through the same process right now. So that being said, let's do this really quick. We are going to keep it a short and sweet episode today. I do want to hear from today's show sponsors. Got a lot to cover, not a lot of time to do it. So let's hit the commercials. Let's hit today's show sponsors and announcements, and we're going to come right on back.
Did you know that Ballard Innovative Products is celebrating its 25th year, bringing you the best gear for the lawn and landscape professional, weekend warrior, or home and garden enthusiast? From mower gear, safety gear, trailer racks, equipment securement, equipment servicing tools, chute blockers, mower blades, aluminum baggers, cleaning products, snow removal tools, and much more to make you efficient, effective, safe, and profitable in the field. Be sure to check out the Ballard-Inc.com website to help dominate and elevate your business this season. With over 30 years in the green industry, we're sure that we've got something you can't live without. Our website search by mower function now makes it easier than ever. New gear is being added all the time. Stay safe and keep grinding. Ballard.
Hey there, Mr. Producer, with a friendly reminder, you've only got today left to get your tickets for Together in the Trades. Hope you're listening in real time on April the 15th, 2024. Picture you and your spouse on a 3-night cruise with Celebrity Cruises, soaking up wisdom from our awesome speakers for this year's Together in the Trades, Brad and Tammy Miller, AJ and Alicia Brensel. We've got Jason and Tracy Creel. And get ready just for an epic journey that's filled with learning, growth, tons of fun for your marriage. It's an experience that will give you the tools and the knowledge just to make your relationship even stronger. Who doesn't want that? Registration closing at the end of business today, so hurry up and secure your spot. The link is in the show notes.
All right, guys, let's jump back into it here. Before we do, I wanted to just let you guys know that on Wednesday, this upcoming Wednesday, now at 9 p.m., we have our Facebook private group called Link. That is our monthly membership that we've got rock and rolling here since late November. Just growing like crazy. So much great conversations, so much helpful resources out there in community for you guys to plug into. This Wednesday night, we have now moved our live stream from 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. And once a month, we get a big dog guest business owner on. And this month's guest is none other than Sam Gamble, owner of Atlas Outdoor, all the way over in beautiful Flint, Michigan. Really excited about having Sam on. He is going to dedicate a little over an hour to us. And folks, I'm telling you what, if you're not part of Link yet, you definitely need to join. Once a week, we do a live stream. We talk about coaching hour, bidding hour. We talk about just hangout sessions. We get to hang out and just talk shop and, see what's on everybody's mind. And that's a weekly Wednesday live stream that we do either on Facebook or Zoom. Outside of the actual community page you get in, the private Facebook group, to be able to ask all your questions, submit all those questions and get them all answered from your peers. This upcoming Wednesday, we've got the man, Sam Gamble, joining us. So if you have been on the edge to join Link, if you're teeter-tottering to join Link, if you were part of Link and your membership lapsed and you want to fix your credit card and, make sure that punches through, we'd love to have you guys. Just a little announcement there. We're super pumped about that. No hard pitch, but I'd love to, see and hang out with so many of you guys. And Sam, oh my gosh, what more can I say? Dude runs a $10 million company. They're opening up new locations left and right. They got it going on. So that's what we're going to be doing Wednesday night, 9 p.m. All right. So here's what I want to do. Just talk about 3 simple customer situations. Number 1, bidding a site year over year, not getting it and not knowing why. I'm sure some of you guys are frustrated. Here's just how I approached it. There's a small machine shop nearby. It's a $5,000 to $7,000 account. It's nothing crazy. Would I like it? Sure. Is it in our backyard? Yes. Do I need to get it? No. Do I care? Not really. It's a nice little site. Hey, we're growing. Sure. I'll do whatever I can to get it. Well, after about 4 years bidding the same account in the spring, they emailed me again and they said, hey, we're looking for a bid, looking to get a price. Would you be interested in? And it came to a submission form on our website. Shout out to Brandon Bull, my brother Adam, and his co-founder Lauren, who build websites. And, it's funny because as soon as I saw it come in, it was a different person that I recognized, but the same at so-and-so, email, and I know the company. And so I emailed them out of kind of a little bit of not of a sass, kind of a tone, but I just said like, hey, love to provide you a quote and a bid. With all due respect, I think this is the 4th year in a row that we've provided a bid and a quote. I've never, not only, of course, won the bid for the property, but I also haven't had any follow-up about why we didn't earn the business. I said, with all due respect, I'd love to earn the business and provide you guys with a quote, but we have several hours now invested into giving you guys endless bids without any follow-up. And to be totally honest with you, it's a little frustrating. I'd be happy again to submit a bid, but I'd like to know if there's a little bit more information that I can. I said something like a little bit more information that I can receive before we provide this quote that might help me better understand why we didn't win the last couple of years. Does that make sense? So that person. Because I was tired of like quoting this job. I mean, it took me, an hour or two, or I'm probably 2 to 3 hours in, right? By the time I go look at it, double check it, come back, write an estimate up on Yardbook. Now I write an estimate up on LMN. I submit it, couple emails back and forth. Hey, what'd you think? Hey, what'd you think? Hey, what'd you think? And then, we finally get the work. I'm 2, 3 hours into this whole process where I could be time, energy, focus, and attention on something else, business or family, right? And it's just kind of frustrating. And I get frustrated. Am I allowed to say that? I get frustrated too. And there's actually a really interesting response. The guy said, hey, the person that used to handle this no longer works here. I understand the frustration. I will tell you this. If you are able to still provide us a quote, we'd love to throw your hat in the ring, and I will promise you that you guys will get a fair shake. If you can get me something here by Monday, we would super appreciate that. We're looking to make a decision here pretty soon. And so I can't really differentiate myself too much here in this situation or this example other than, hey, we've been trying to get the work quite a few years in a row. Hopefully there's some familiarity with, our name continuously coming across the table. In terms of longevity, right? Hey, the same companies gave us a bid 3 or 4 years in a row. Every year we've had, 5 bids proposed to us. 4 out of the 5 come and go. We've dealt with 16 different freaking bids. 4 different companies over the last 4 years. Maybe finally this is our guy that we want to link up and partner with for the next decade, right? And that's always something I'm trying to propose when I talk to our clients. Hey, we're not the cheapest person in town. But we do pride ourselves on quality. And if there's an opportunity to work together, we'd love to, partner up with you. We're going to be doing this for the next little while. And as long as you guys have this site, we'd love to be able to take care of it for you. Right? I don't care, if it's just mowing and mowing fur, snow, lawn, and salting, whatever, all the above, it doesn't matter. We're here for you and we want to be here. We want to be partnered with you for the next decade. Okay. So that was just kind of one situation, an example, a little frustrating, but almost kind of like, what can you do? But at the same point, it's okay to respond and say, hey, what's going on here? I call it the black hole. Like, why are we getting lost in this bidding process? Like, is it me? Is it you guys? Is it the dude bidding on it? Is it you just finding your 3, bids and then we're not getting it? Like, give me something here other than you guys just continuously taking and taking and taking from our time and energy. And by the way, like, that's a whole nother conversation. Like, it'd be nice if we could offer or establish quotes cost money. Like, because for the love of God, they do. On design build projects, I don't know how you landscapers don't. I absolutely would. Not to necessarily make $100, $200 on a service call, but just to weed out and prune out people that want to waste your damn time. I mean, that's a fact. If I did landscaping, design build, that's exactly what I would do. I say it's $150 for a consult. If you go with us, it'll go towards your project, whether that project is $1,500 or $15,000. And people go, well, you're going to lose a third of your bids. That's fine. That third's probably the tire kickers anywhere. All right. So I want to be their partner for long-term on the site. And so give me a little bit more about what's going on. Number 2, really quick here, and this is a larger site. This is a site that I'm more interested in keeping than less interested in keeping, for sure. I'm not a good poker player. I wear my feelings and emotions sometimes on my sleeve, and I'm not a hard to get kind of individual. You normally know what Fullerton's thinking. I'm not going to hold back. I'm not going to filter too much. Just my thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. That's what I want to share with you guys, and I don't want to live a facade life trying to be 10 different people to 10 different people. I just want to be me. And if you like me, like me. If you don't, you don't. And I have a way to win friends and influence people that works for me. but I'm not going to bend over backwards necessarily to appease everybody. Well, there's another site that we have that we've had now. This is our third year. And the individual that I'm working with is wealthier. They're affluent. They are very, very successful. No doubt about that. And the conversation with this commercial site was, last year we raised the mowing price 40%. And then this year we raised the cleanup price, both spring and fall cleanup, by about 50 to 100%. And some of you guys listening here, you go, 50%, 100%, like Fullerton, how bad you botched this one? Well, here's the deal. I'll talk about the cleanups in a minute, but let's talk about the relationship with that customer and also that 40% mowing increase. So the customer was emailing me back and forth just a couple of days ago. Said, hey, we want to keep with you guys. It seems like another price increase. With all due respect, what's going on? We've been partnering with you guys for a couple years now. Why these dramatic price increases? Could you explain a little bit more? So we emailed back and forth, and I said, well, 2 years ago, aka last year, I should say, you guys added a whole new portion to your development. And originally that was an on-site construction area. And so all the turf and all the grass was matted down and it was dilapidated. There wasn't anything going on. It was a bunch of utility work, electrical work, renovation work. This adjacent site was completely devastated, right? There was nothing going on up front. Well, by the end of, so August, September, October last year, the site was online. That new portion was online adjacent to the main building, and they had wanted us to take care of that portion too. Now, originally I said in the spring, sure, no problem, because it was a dust field, hayfield. It was literally 2 strips of grass on the boulevard there back in this, site that I can't give too much away. It's a little bit more of a premium site, so I don't want anybody around town knowing which ones we do. So we took care of it until late summer when it came online, and now I'm like, damn, we're mowing a whole nother portion of this whole freaking building. It's taken another 15 to 20 minutes. In the grand scheme of the site, it's another 30 or 40% more mowing. And there's a huge portion that we got to trim because it's just the way the final grade laid out. And it's very, very inconvenient, right? So you got to kind of trim down this path where you can't really get a mower down, unfortunately. Even though it's just wide enough for a mower, it's kind of frustrating. So anyway, the gentleman, said, last year, you guys raised it by 40% on the mowing. Well, I said, hey, with all due respect, when you add 40% more property, the price is going to go up 30 to 40 more percent. I said, so I'm not going to honor the same price if we're not going to be able to mow the same amount of property. If more property, we need to mow more turf, then we're going to have to charge more money. And that kind of worked out with the customer service, and they understood that, and they decided to mmove forward, thankfully. And I said the same thing. Hey, I understand it's more money. I'm not trying to pull a fast one. When we talked in the spring, it was one thing, but here's the deal. A year later, I ate the tail end of that season. I just ended up doing it for you guys, but I can't do that again. I said, it's not fair. And they understood. They said, fine, a little bit begrudgingly, but the dude was extremely wealthy and successful and a very, very high-end site. And so the guy said, no problem, fine, we'll stick with you guys. Well, fast forward to this year, we doubled up the spring and fall cleanups. Half of that jump is me understanding better my numbers with cleanups from LMN. Shout out to big old LMN. If you guys need to sign up, promo code Brian. And I'm not even kidding. Talk about a game changer for our company. But number 2 was just underestimating the size of the site. So we didn't do the spring cleanup in year 1. We only did a fall cleanup. The second year we did a spring and fall cleanup. Now we're going into year 3. And I said, here's the deal. I said, and this is what prompted me to go in person and do damage control and sell in person. Now this person's in sales. I'm in sales. We're all in sales. So it's just going to be who bucks first, who's willing to say no, who's going to walk away, but also who wants to salvage the deal, who wants to salvage the relationship. And to me, that was a high-end client. I don't know, it's worth 15 to 20 grand a year for us. Good site. It's a decent site. So it's not something I'm like, hey, residential, we went up $2.50. They're freaking out. And I'm like, hey, it's $10 more a month. If you quit, hey, no big deal, dude. It was $1,100 a year in revenue on 15, 18%. We're talking $150 to $200 profit. Literally couldn't care less. No offense, couldn't care less to make true net profit 15, 20% on a site for residential. Literally not even worth anybody's phone call listening to this podcast or myself, okay? So don't lose sleep when people start pushing back. You're like, dude, you're like, well, it's $50 weekly mow. Yeah, I know. But like the actual profit you're making on that site, if I had to guess, was between 15 and 25%. When you look at that for the season, you're talking $200-$300. That's not worth you getting demeaned, talked down to, or anybody yelling at you. Does that make sense? So that was kind of like this whole conversation with this individual was, they said, well, you know, the leaf cleanup price is twice as much. And I said, well, this is our third season. It's our second time doing the spring cleanup, and it'll be our third time doing the fall cleanup. And I just got to be honest with you. We completely underbid how long it took. The more property that you have us taking on, the more that these leaves are all over the place. And frankly, I just cannot do the work unprofitably. Now, and at the same time, remember, he's like, well, the mowing was 40% more last year. He goes, now the leaves are more money. I said, yeah, but everything else in the contract has stayed the same. It's been priced appropriately. Now that we have this extra work that we're taking on and there's all these extra leaves and the site's just more dynamic, and I know how important these leaves are for you because they are a hot button for him. I said, we're more than happy to take care of that for you, but this is where it needs to be for my company to make money, for us to be profitable. Like I said, I know you're looking to get this work done. This is what it's going to take, whether it's my company or not. And so I don't know if that answer completely made the individual happy or satisfied, but what I would say is I said, we'll take care of it for you. I've said, we're going to make it spotless. I understand it's a price raise. Nobody wants to see numbers going up, but this is just what it's going to cost, whether I'm doing it or not. By the way, the rest of the contract is the same. And we're here to take care of the site for you and just partner up with you and make sure that you're happy, okay? And that individual said, fine, no problem. Just please make sure that it looks great. Please also make sure that there's no other price increases, significant price increases along the way. And you know what? Sometimes, folks, you have to have awkward conversations and you have to tell folks like, hey, this is what we thought. This is what it actually took. Sometimes you win. Sometimes you lose. Sometimes you have to eat that. Sometimes you honor that price for a little while. I did. You know, last year we did the spring cleanup. It took a day and we were only budgeted for half a day. Last year we did the fall cleanup. We did 2 days worth of work and we were only budgeted for one. Did I make payroll with that revenue? Sure. Did I make profit? No. And it is what it is because it's a day or 2 days worth of work on 4 to 6 weeks worth of fall work. It is what it is. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But moving forward, if I'm only making 18% on the mowing, 25% on the mulch, and I'm not making any money on the spring and fall cleanup, the overall profitability of that site is 13 to 15% because the mowing is going to drag it down a little bit. So why would I be bidding on the whole site for 13 to 15% profit? It's not worth it. Unless I can get those fall cleanups prices to where they need to be and get the full gamut to run an 18 to 20% profit on that site, I was okay with walking away. Well, Fullerton, it's a $15,000 to $20,000 account. It's a high profile account. Sure is. But if I'm not making any money on it, then what's the freaking point? And that might be a quick sub point for us on this conversation for today. If you're not making 15, 18, 20% profit on this job, why are we doing it? Why are we sticking it out? Is it a means to an end to salvage it, to raise the price? Maybe. Okay, cool. Then I'm on your team. If you're like, look, we're not making any money on this and we're just going out and we're making $100, $200 net profit on this $1,000 job, like what's the point, right? Like what's the point? So I didn't, of course, lead all that into the customer, but that's what I'm thinking walking in there. And that's how you can stand firm. People are always like, well, how do you have confidence when you bid sites? How can you go into the Shark Tank like with this individual who's very successful and he's going, for a living, he does sales and he's going to try to talk me down and negotiate. And I talk people up and down all the time too, and I negotiate up and down all the time too, but not 8 to 10 hours a day, right? But I also know, because I'm confident with my numbers, my budget, my approach, that if he's not in agreement with what I need to do it for, then it's not going to work. And if he said, well, can you meet me at, let's say the cleanup's $2,000 and he wants to do it for $1,500 and we used to be at $1,000. No, I cannot because we're not making money on that. Now, I'm not going to say scream in his face, no. Excuse me. I'm not going to scream in his face, no. But at the same point, I'm going to say with people skills, no, unfortunately, we're not able to do that. We're not going to be able to do that profitably. And I'm not going to be able to do that. If I do work unprofitably, I won't be here next year to serve you for the rest of your property's needs because I'm going to go out of business, right? You're in business to make money too, right? Yes, so are we. This is where the number has to be. Quick little conversational people skills like that go a long way, okay? So at the end of the day, the first site, hey, what's going on here? Can you help me out? Give me a little bit more information. I want to win it. I want to work together. The second one, same thing. Hey, we messed up a little bit. You won't see any more significant price increases. That had the same thing happen with the late HOA. Going through LMN, about 7 out of 8 services that we have for our company for every site seem to be checking out. But there are some things where like the mulch is bid too low, or the cleanup is bid too low, or the mulch is bid too low, or the FERT is bid too low, or the pruning is bid too low. It's like 1 out of 8 things for almost every site. And that has nothing to do with LMN other than the fact that LMN's helping me get my pricing right. And so it's been a little bit of a challenging spring rush because the 25 plus commercial sites we're bringing on, probably 18 to 20 of them have had a significant price increase in at least one area of the contract. And so I've had a lot of quote unquote explaining to do. And that's fine. It's explaining, AKA selling, AKA saying, hey, I'm trying to help you and service you. This is where it needs to be. I'm not really trying to make any more money or pull a fast one. This is just where it needs to be. Does that make sense? And so it's okay with having these awkward conversations. And by the way, 2 things there. 1, I'm willing to have the awkward conversations. I want to fix my business. Nothing is set in stone around here. Everything is wet paint. If you think I have it all figured out, you're listening to the wrong guru, because I don't. I'm learning too. Point number 2, now that we have LMN, let's hope that there's a benefit of a doubt, but now that we're using LMN to bid and price our work correctly, as long as we estimate the time on site correctly, we should be able to knock out 9.5 out of 10 quotes and bids without any of these dramatic price increases or price changes or errors in our estimating, right? Because we accurately are bidding it with our budget, our overhead, our break even, our cost, and our profit because of LMN, versus before we were 80 and 90 cents on the dollar guessing. Okay, so that's a huge win for us. Last one, and then we'll pretty much button this up, is people that don't communicate to you. People that just, you drive by their site, and this is frustrating for me, I'm sure it is for you. You drive by their site and you notice that work is being done. The mulch is done, the spring cleanup is done. You've been trying to get a hold of those people for 3 or 4 weeks. Nothing. And frankly, that customer is already a PETA customer or a psychopath, which I've had a couple of those too. I'm sure you guys have never dealt with anybody who's frustrating, but call, text, email a couple different times. Of course, send their bid through with a couple reminders through LMN. Nothing from this person. Drive by the other day, notice that the cleanup has already been done, the mulch has already been done. We're basically mowing this week starting up. And I finally get a text from the person, over the weekend at like 7 p.m. Oh, hey, we went with a different direct company. I don't even handle that anymore with the company. Then it sounds like they already made a decision with somebody else and not you. Well, that's really, really cool, man. Thanks for, 2 years of partnership and relationship. Thank you for literally no information. Thank you for not even giving us the time of the day. Thanks for not even giving us the opportunity to bid and quote and sharpen the pencil, quote unquote, to see how we stack up according to what you are now moving forward with. And so I have one of those lines out there, and I'm sure I got it from somebody, but go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. And so some of you guys are like losing work or people aren't renewing. And let me ask you honestly, like, did those people care about you anyway? Do those people have your best interest anyway? Are those people excited every time you show up, or are they always bitching about something? Hey, you missed the spot. Hey, your price is more. Hey, I'm paying more, so I expect more, and I don't feel like I'm getting more, even though I'm paying more. And you said that you'd be doing more, and I don't feel like I'm really getting more. It's like nothing is going to make those people happy. Let me just tell you the spring rush. Be okay with letting go of a couple people. Be okay with letting go of a couple PETA customers. Be okay with letting go to grow, to be able to replace those people with folks that actually appreciate you and your team. And if it can happen to my company, I promise you it can happen to your company. And I'm sure it happens to Troy Clogg, Corey Ballard, Sam Gemble, Sam Rankin of Etch Outdoor, Leroy Maines of Brilliant Borders, and so many others, okay? Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. That customer, she was already a psychopath. There was like 5 red flags across the board. I even told my wife, I said, hey, guess who canceled? I told her the name of the customer. She goes, oh, no surprise. That lady's a psycho. I go, yeah, but it's business. Yeah, but it's revenue. And of course, I'm justifying it, just like so many of we all do, because it pays the bills. And, even if they're a slow payer, they're worth it. Even if though they're a little mean, they're worth it. Even if they're a little demeaning, they're worth it, right? So couple little case studies there. Hopefully these are just some real life tips, some real life lessons, some real life takeaways. This is what's going on in our company at real time. I'm always learning lessons here, folks. I'm always trying to share those lessons with you guys. Hopefully there's a couple of takeaways that you guys can take, from this episode. Maybe it emboldens you a little bit to have some more confidence the next time somebody's trying to eat your lunch, or you go into the lion's den and somebody's like office and, they're trying to negotiate the price. I remember one time Liz and I went, and I actually was rebidding an HOA that had a new board. The whole previous board quit. It's a whole other story for another time. The whole new board came together. They had a meeting at a bar, and it was the whole new board, and they invited me to go over the contract with them because that was their biggest expense, they said. And it literally was like 8-on-1. They had everybody there and husbands and wives. It was happy hour, and everybody's loosened up a little bit. And I told Liz, I said, this at the time was the biggest account that we had. It was an anchor account. And I said, I don't want to lose this one. So I told Liz, I said, hey, would you just go with me for moral support, just to have you with me? Like, I know I'm Superman, but just having your, having my back really means a lot. And we went in there, and for an hour and a half, they line itemed every single thing we do. And it was just back and forth. There was a little bit of war, but it actually all worked out, and the contract got approved. And they were like, okay, we thought we'd be able to knock this down 10-20% for sure. But thank you so much for educating on us and letting us know that we're actually getting a pretty good price, a pretty good deal. And that was a whole learning experience for me just a couple years ago to realize, like, I got to take time to build relationships with people, be an advisor for them, help them, give them education, and let them know that I'm there for them, to partner up for them, not just make a buck. I want to help them with their site. Okay, so that being said, I've had these wild scenarios, wild stories, just like I'm sure so many of you guys. And these are just a couple case studies along the last couple of days that we've been dealing with. We were able to salvage that one big account. I'll let you guys know if we get the other smaller account. And the third account, that lady can take a flying leap for all I care. All right. Well, that's what I got for you guys on today's podcast episode. Hey, if you guys are new here, maybe consider leaving us a rating and review. Or if you guys have been listening to some of the show here last couple of weeks, maybe you guys are a newer listener and you guys haven't hit 5-star and leave a rating and review. I don't really ask for that all too often, but I know we have like 1,100 reviews or ratings or whatever it is. Like, that's crazy. That's 2 or 3 times more than some of the other shows that I know that are out there. And I just can't thank you guys enough for the engagement, the support, the feedback. I read every single one of those. And it makes a huge difference with the YouTube, or podcast algorithm, I should say. I'm sure helping with making some reviews lately. So thank you guys so much for that. All right. I will see so many of you guys here on Wednesday's podcast. We got an excerpt that we're going to be sharing from a Zoom live, which is going to be cool, from the week before. Next week, Wednesday night, 9 p.m., guys, Sam Gemble, Atlas Outdoor, Link Live, 9 p.m. It's going to be amazing. If you guys aren't part of it, I encourage you to join. It's $29 a month. We'd love to have you part of that and ask your questions, grow together with a peer group, a safe environment where we can ask questions and grow together. It's been really, really special, and we hope to see you guys in there, all right? Over and out, guys. You have a beautiful day. We look forward to catching up with all of you guys here on the next episode.
Ballard Products has what you need. If you're looking for one place to find all the gear you need, jump on Ballard-Inc.com. With over 30 years in the industry and now celebrating our 25th anniversary selling high-quality products, we've got your back. From mower gear, trailer racks, mower blades, safety gear, and so much more, you'll find everything you need to maximize your efforts and protect your gear in one place. And let's not forget about the carbide titanium gold blade options that cut amazing and last longer between sharpenings, giving you optimum performance in the field. We've got a bunch of new gear coming soon, so make sure that you're following Ballard to stay in the loop. Head over to Ballard-Inc.com today and get geared up. Now, go get after it. Ballard.
As we mentioned early, you've just got today, April the 15th, 2024, to grab your tickets for Together in the Trades. Get ready for a 3-night cruise with Celebrity Cruises. Our speakers, Brad and Tammy Miller, AJ and Alicia Brentzel, Jason and Tracy Creel. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, to strengthen your marriage. Registration shutting down at the end of business today. Don't wait. The link for Together in the Trades is in the show description.
Thanks for taking the time to listen to the Fullerton Unfiltered podcast with Brian Fullerton. We hope you enjoyed this production. If so, please consider leaving us a 5-star review for the show. While the techniques and ideas presented here are designed to help you grow a more successful and profitable business, no one can guarantee these results for you. We want to emphasize that entrepreneurship is not easy, and the ideas presented here are just the opinions of Brian Fullerton and his respective guests. No one can guarantee success for you. That being said, we hope the ideas presented here help you and motivate you to go on out there and crush it with your own business.
Fullerton Unfiltered Podcast.
Thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode.
This has been a Brian Fullerton and Mr. Producer production.